Facebook fan page. If you on Instagram, the THE.SCEN on Instagram. Twitter heads, SCEN_THE. Twitch game, THE_SCEN. We are everywhere. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you know you should be subscribed. Notifications on. This is the first Monday of March. Happy Women's History Month to all the ladies out there. We're going to talk about the best of the rest. We've done some live shows on the best of the East, the best of the West. So let's talk about what's going on in the rest of the conferences. We're going to get into some of the news of the day regarding Lloyd Pierce, some of the other goings on. And then to cap the show, All-Star break memories. All-Star break is coming up. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite games, moments, etc. To handle all of that, you know I had to have my guys with me somewhere between Collierville and pick any color mound you want. It's my main man, Jay Ham. Jay Ham, what's happening?
Cooling, man, cooling. Actually, just waking up from a refreshing nap. Hadn't been able to get many of those in as of late, but, you know, it's a good thing to get those in. You know, it kind of snuck up on me that All-Star weekend is upon us. Usually accustomed to this thing being in February, but it's touching on along with the March Madness fever that we got moving along at this time of year. So basketball just converging down on us upon us in that way. That's cool with me.
Hey, at the end of the show, we're gonna kind of give y'all a preview. It's a busy month here at 94 Feet of Light. I'm gonna just tell you, it's a whole lot going on. So speaking of a whole lot going on, this Friday Fun, 94 Feet of Fortune, hosted by my main man, Trav, a.k.a. Black Pat Sajak. Trav, talk to the people. What's going on?
Man, y'all know what it is. Y'all know the vibes, man. We here. We gonna be here. We gonna stay here, man. Again, like Big Shot said, subscribe, because Friday is gonna be very, very fun. So check us out. We gonna be waiting on y'all.
And then our man MJ hopefully gonna be joining us in a second, but we gotta swing this thing up a little further to the north, somewhere between Dayton and Richfield. Yeah, somewhere between Dayton and Richfield. It's my main man, Jern. What's happening?
Hey, man, just be ready for Friday, man. The whole thing is set up. We set it up yesterday. We all sat there and chipped in. It's going to be fun. Y'all just need to tune in. Besides that, man, we got a crazy show. We got a crazy month. We got crazy content. It's crazy out here, son. You might as well go ahead and subscribe, B. Get it with it. Get with it. Let's go, man.
Notifications on, subscribe, follow us everywhere, because this is the first of 7 shows between now and January 19th. I don't know what's going to happen not January, after March 19th.
March 19th. Yep.
7 shows, a whole lot going on. So be with us. So, fellas, let's get into it, man. Let's get into some of the quick hits, the news of the day. Lloyd Pierce, fired by the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks currently sitting in 11th seed in the East, not where they wanted to be. But, fellas, just kind of passing the mic, Jeremy, I'm going to start with you because you had real strong thoughts on this in the pre-show meeting. Lloyd Pierce is fired. Justified or no?
It's not justified. We're not at the All-Star break yet. We got to, in these situations, man, you start off 10-9. That is not an accomplishment. Let me make sure I say that again for everybody. There is no moral victories won in the first 15, 25 games of the season. Where you have to find where your team is going to be is you have to find the longevity in which we're talking about down the line, whereas we're getting into more of the 60-game range. So you can start filling out some of the things with your team. You have a team full of young wing players. Right. Young wing players. The only one who has some type of winning pedigree in this league is Rajon Rondo. And he's not even playing right now. So you take that into consideration. Clint Capella is the only other guy who's coming from a winning culture. And then you just signed Bogdanovich, who is not coming from a winning culture. Ain't none of these young guys won anything. Winning a national title or winning in college is not the same as winning in the pros. So we got to understand that. And you fired him the day after Black History Month. I mean, listen, let me say this to y'all. It's Pisces season, I understand, but it's a lot of fishy behavior going on around here. And, you know, Pisces is the two fishes, so it's extra fishy. I don't understand it. I don't like it. We need to fix it. Big shot back to you.
Jake Ham, what do you think? Quick, just when you about the fiery and what the Hawks are, what they're trying to do.
As far as what they're trying to do, I have no earthly idea. I mean, everything that Jerm just stated was 100% on point. You got a team that young. It takes time to learn to win. And if you're looking at their progress, well, they're behind where they should be. They probably are, but that comes with the youth. My question is a lot like the same question that Billy Ray Valentine had for the chauffeur on Trading Places. Well, what's the next move then, man? You know, you fire Lord, then where you go after that? That's my main question to that.
So just to fill in the blanks before we go to Trav, Nate McMillan is going to be the next guy on the bench that they're trying to get. And they're trying to get him to be the interim head coach. But Nate was a huge supporter of Pierce and what Pierce's program was. So now I wonder if Nate is going to say, nah, y'all ain't about to make a fool out of me like y'all did him. This is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens.
Especially in the chocolate city of Atlanta, Georgia.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Trav, what you got?
I think, was it right? No, I don't think it's right. But what I think what the Atlanta Hawks organization, the front office, GMs, owners, what they went by making this decision was their expectations. The expectations for the Hawks was kind of high. Like during this time, they was probably going to be like a 4th or 5th seed. But again, with the youth of their team and not fulfilling those expectations, that's the only thing that Pearson had riding on at this point. I mean, what Scarface said, the only thing he got is his word and his balls. One of them did fulfill. So in their instance, they chopped them off because of the expectations.
Yeah, I think I don't like the move because I thought 8th seed, if y'all remember the preview, 8th seed was about as good as it was going to be this year. So I get it. You got these expectations to make the playoffs, but it's German alluded a really young team, number one, and something that Ham has talked about and we've talked about on the show. What is the ceiling for a team when the best player on your team is under 6 foot? History has shown under 6 feet as your best player, that's a tough road to go down. As much as I like Trae Young, you are looking at 0-1 76ers without the defense.
Hey, that's a really good comparison. And the reason why it's a really good comparison, as MJ is getting ready to join us, I want y'all to say, I gotta hear MJ's thoughts on this. So we ask and we shall receive. MJ,
what's going on?
Lloyd Pierce was fired today. Oh. I've already stated that this don't make sense. You got a team full of young wings. You got a team with no winning pedigree. Only Rajon Rondo has won. Only Clint Capella has come from a winning program. Bojan or whatever his name is, the little Bogdanovich, he ain't never won nothing neither. What is it that they suspect, or what is it they're expecting out of this team? And I gotta give it to my guy, man. Go ahead, big bro. Talk to him. Talk to him.
I walk in on this. Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, you just throw me in the fire, huh?
Yeah.
But, over a history, it's just been certain coaches have had a little less leeway and a little less rope than other coaches. I'll give you an example. Brad Stevens, if that was a coach of a different background, he probably wouldn't be there right now. We had a coach by the name of Dwayne Casey who literally turned around the whole country, got rid of him for the assistant, and he kept making the playoffs. So, is this surprising to me? No, it's not. It's the hand that we're dealt. You seem to remember the Titans, Jerm?
Of course.
I just got to check. I'm not
Of course. I ain't Vic Jr.
Hey, you remember when dude pulled him over to the side and said, if you show any adversity, then that's cause for termination. And he was like, what do you mean by adversity? He's like, you lose a game.
Exactly.
I mean, some people, just got less leeway than others. I mean, I'll just go ahead and take the gloves off for Trav get mad at me. Black coaches have less leeway than white coaches. And on the flip side, white players have less leeway than black players.
Oh, yeah.
Just what it is.
Oh, yeah, because John get to jacking up that nonsense, and we got Bron over here. You might as well go and get ready. You might as well go. Hey, get that man out of here. And what DNA say? Get John out
of here.
Hey, we might have to use to zip him up for that one.
Yeah, no. Hey, that was kid. That's literally Kayshawn and Pat Stay. Zip them up.
Zip them up. Nah, this is tough, man. I'm gonna swing this over to everybody because again, it just came through. But I know we're talking about younger teams, and I also say this because I can look at everything from all sides of the coin. You have a star that is very impatient, and you got to keep showing them that you're trying to win, even if the record doesn't reflect it in Trae Young. Right. In this day and age, superstars run the asylum. So you got 3 or 4 years to show that you're willing to invest in them in the way that they feel like they need to be invested in before they just go ahead and walk to another playoff team or a bigger market. And that's really just the sad, unfortunate truth about the NBA. Like, most of these teams are junior varsity waiting to get moved up to varsity, which is the bigger markets of teams that won championships.
And it's something we've talked about on the show. The windows in this league are small. Like, I didn't even know Lloyd Pierce was there 2.5 seasons.
Yeah.
I thought he was only there a year and a half, exactly 2. So in this NBA, man, this climate, it's 3.
3 years.
You got
3.
It
sucks because the actual player don't even learn how to win in this league until 8 years.
Yeah.
And that's the wild part about it. It's like, how realistic are your expectations? That's for your fans. That's for your front office people. That's for your people on the floor, your personnel, your players, your staff. That's for everybody that's involved. Mm-hmm. How realistic is the goal to get to what we were trying to get in that 3-year window?
And let me say this: the second most talented player on that team is Cam Reddish.
Talented, yes.
That's why you see the word I use, MJ. Talented.
Yeah. No, I listen.
Talented. So if Cam Reddish is the second most talented player and he's not clocking on average at least 20, 25 minutes a game, that could be another issue fundamentally. Because if Trae don't play, that ball is in Cam Reddish hands. And he's the one initiating the offense.
And how
we watch all teams. All of them, even the small ones.
And how old is Cam Reddish again?
Cam Reddish
21.
Just turned 21.
He could now go buy a beer and walk out legally.
He's a baby.
Been able to do that.
Right.
He can vote now. Cam can now vote.
I think that guy from Virginia. What's my guy name?
DeAndre Hunter.
I think
he's injured.
Yeah, he's injured, but I think like when healthy, a lot of it went through him. Although Cam is the most talented, I think everything went like that. That was Trae. That was the second behind Trae.
You have a lot of. I just think to kind of wrap up the conversation. You have a lot of youth. You have a lot of guys at a similar similar stages in their career,
That play
and
similar positions.
So you got young dudes trying to find their way in the league who, quite frankly, I'm not calling them selfish, but have ambitions of their own, all fighting for minutes, all fighting for shots, revolving around this one megastar in Trey. It's a tough mix that they have going down there. So whoever the coach is, it's going to be tough to sort out. But to our main topic of the night, best of the rest, we're going to bat around some teams. And the two teams I want to lead off with, because I think they're the most interesting. And that's Boston and the Knicks. First of all, who thought we were going to be talking about the Knicks in March? Number one. And then number two, we talk about the window being closed. Has the window closed in Boston? So I'm
got some good stuff.
I'm going to start with Jay Ham, who cut the ill promo, if y'all following. The New York Knicks are a playoff team, and the way this thing is shaking out, barring disaster, they're going to be there for the rest of the season. And what is happening on Broadway?
Mud Island has went to Broadway. This is the number one team in the league in defensive points per game. They're number one in defending the three. They're number one in overall field goal percentage, period. Now, conversely, they're like 28th in scoring. They're like 29th in assists. They have an all-star in Julius Randle who's doing everything.
Right.
I mean, legit doing everything. But they're getting a lot done in the mud. I was watching some film on them before we went on. And it's actually what led to the source of my nap. You know, shout out to the Knicks. Power nap on them. But they get out, they make it muddy. Transition defense is legit. They're getting back on defense. And then when on the other end, they're starting their own transition. And this is still even with the slowest pace in the league. So they're just making things muddy, and they got the hoopers to go compete. And right now, being 18 and 17 is good enough to be fourth in the Eastern Conference. I dig it. Shout out to the Knicks. Still ain't shit, though.
Shout out, Ham. Hey, I'll say this about Thibodeau. I mean, I'm going to go to MJ because we're going to get into Brad Stevens. There are a lot of things you can question about Tom Thibodeau, legitimately. But the one thing you can't ever say, teams that he has will play hard and they will play defense.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of what's happening on the other end of the floor, you're going to play defense, you're going to play hard.
And they're making a three, too. They're not taking a lot of threes, but they're 11th overall three-point percentage. So the ones they're taking, they're making 37%.
So Tibbs is Tibbs, and, you know, I think Tibbs doing a hell of a job.
Big Blue Nation.
I give it to him. Because that
Emmanuel
team,
Quickly.
Emmanuel Quickly playing very well. Julius Randle,
Big Blue Nation,
has taken the mega leap. So
yes.
I will give Tibbs all his credit. Let's talking about the flip side. Boston. And MJ, you pointed this out in a very good post in our group, which you should be joined to 94 Feel Like if you on Facebook.
Should.
Has Boston's window closed? MJ, I'm going to start with you.
Yes. Until they get another coach, it's close. Here's a question. How can you believe in a coach to provide you a winning system if he's never won?
Ain't happening, fella.
So after a while, you know, if you get a young team or if you get a group of young rookies, and this has happened since David Stern era, you could talk about Magic, you could talk about Olajuwon, you could talk about Isaiah, you could talk about Bird. Bird and Magic actually won titles with their first coach, and they still got them out of there. It's just something about getting a young superstar in which they just get tired of hearing your voice. I do not think Brad Stevens is a bad coach. I think he's a very good coach, but I think he needs a team that has to rely on his offensive brilliance. When he have guys who's already geniuses in themselves on the offensive end, they clash because he does a lot of unnecessary action if you got a dude who can ISO. He does a lot of unnecessary play calls if you got a point guard that can get it on his own or get his players in the positions they need to be in on his own. And he runs a lot of plays for guys who are just not good.
I think Brad was the perfect coach for them at the time he was hired.
Exactly.
At the time he was hired, it was a good hire. Young roster, they were rebuilding. Brad is young. It was cool. But to MJ's point, we're now past that. Right? Now we have, I don't get into superstar, but we got two really bad dudes in Tatum and Brown. You make the big free agent signing of Kemba Walker. And now, and I know Kemba has had his injury issues, hasn't worked out. But it's A to B, and then there's B to C. Brad was A to B, and now you have two guys in Tatum and Brown who have taken the next step, but the coach hasn't taken a step with them. And what you see now is that malaise that we talked about. Jerm and Trav definitely hop in. If you are the Celtics, if you are Danny Ainge, we're hitting the All-Star break, we're hitting the trade deadline. Is it Brad got to go by the trade deadline? Or is it big move needs to happen by the deadline? Which one is it?
Who's going to put that icing on that cake and take it to the show? The reason why I put it in that philosophy is because it's only so many players that Boston you can get, and you already got everything. You still got picks from 2016 that you ain't even used yet. You still got those picks. But Brad just ain't that guy. I mean, and that's why I say who's going to take that cake, put the icing on it, and take it to the show. Because it sure ain't going to be Brad. It ain't going to be Brad. It's kind of like, I mean, if you put this in football terms, it was kind of like Tony Dungy and Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
He put it together nice. It was nice. It hurt when he left, but you got to have somebody to put that icing on that cake and take it to the show.
And it's just a learning curve, man.
It's their time.
It's just a learning curve because I think Rick Carlisle went through the same thing in Detroit. Like, Rick Carlisle was a great coach in Detroit, but, you know, the constant slowing down, the constant play calling, he was butting heads with players who were just like, let me go. And then finally, when he got to Dallas, when he had the team that he needed, but he had players he could trust it up to where he gave a little rope to, they ended up winning the championship. And now if you look at what he's doing with Luka, he let Luka do whatever the hell he wants. So, you know, you have to adjust to this league. And I'm going to go ahead and swing to Jerm because I know Jerm want to cook on this, especially about Kemba and some other things.
I think here's the thing. If you keep Brad, okay, now let's be hypothetical, right? If you keep Brad, you're going to have to move some players around. I'm going to give you two players that got to move. One is Kemba. He don't fit. You need more catch and shoot guys around the twosome of Brown and Tatum. Also, I'm gonna be honest. Tatum got that Kyrie Irving in Cleveland, dribbling so much that he trying to kill a mosquito with a machine gun.
Hey,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Too much cooking, way too much sauce. You don't put in the words of MJ, you don't put no damn sauce on no damn plate and eat it. You put sauce over something and you with some substance. That's Tatum. So Jaylen Brown is your most decisive guy, and he's not even your best player. I have a problem with that. Tatum, you don't need this much sauce on this damn plate. You got all the abilities. You 6'10", you got everything, bro. You might as well go ahead, stop dribbling and giving me 5 dribble combinations. Give me 1-2 and left, come back and get the shot. Or you're gonna be able to get to you can finish with either hand. You got the whole bag.
Question.
Yes.
Do Tatum got a shoe contract?
No, he doesn't.
You just answered your question.
See, and you know what? If I'm somebody, I ain't giving you no damn shoe contract because there's too much sauce on the damn plate.
It worked for Kyrie. It worked for Harden.
Hey, eventually he's gonna get that contract. He's
gonna
get it. He's gonna get the contract.
I said for MJ. I said for MJ, Germ, there you go, trying to make the world what you think it should be again.
But if you watch Tatum, he looks like Paul George did last
year. Bingo.
It's an extra dribble. It's 2 dribbles that's not needed.
5 dribble combinations, Big Shot. What we doing? What we doing with that?
The extra
trying to get a shoe contract.
It's the extra euro. It's the spin move that's when it's not there. Maybe it is the shoe contract, but
I don't know. That. I ain't giving him no.
So
listen, he ain't getting a shoe contract until KD. He ain't getting a shoe contract until KD and LeBron leave the league.
So, John, you said Kemba. Who's the other one? Who else?
I think you either got to pick Tristan Thompson or you got to keep Daniel Theis. Because if I see both of them on my floor again, I'm going to scream at the same time. I swear, if I see that again, I'm slapping Brad Stevens, bro.
But it goes back to what I mean about Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is so good in his mind at maxing out players that shouldn't be on the floor that he think he can make it work. That's his gift and his curse to his genius.
And guess what? You know what it say also in the Bible? It say make it make sense. So at the end of the day, yeah, say that. Make it make sense. So if I see Tristan Thompson on the floor again, if I see that again, Germinations verse 1, chapter 3, it says make it make sense. So I just want y'all to know. You see Trav with the hand right there? Hallelujah.
I'm pointing. The reason why you said that because
it makes sense.
I'm pointing at the 10 Commandments that's behind me, man. And you ain't working on good terms right now.
No, I ain't working with commandments. I'm working on my book, the interpretations, because that's what the Bible is about in them books. The interpretation of Germ right here. It say pay what you owe is number chapter 1, verse 1. And that's what verse 1. And that goes to the NBA as well. But chapter 1, verse 3 says make it make sense. And I just want y'all to know we making it make sense by doing one thing. Let's stop putting these weird and odd combinations on the floor. If you know that Kemba's not a catch and shoot player, put him more with the second unit. Let's make the game make sense. Because if you're not going to do that, you're wasting Langford, you're wasting Carson Edwards, and ultimately Pritchard is the best guy to play in that starting lineup with those guys because he doesn't need the touches in order for him to be effective. He's going to still play hard on the defensive end, and most importantly, he can catch and shoot, and he can also run your pick and roll and your screen and roll game. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to pass it because we can cook. But I just want y'all to know.
Hey, Pritchard is TJ McConnell with jerk sauce.
Hey, before we go to the next subject, I'm just going to say this. Boston is right now, to me, deemed as a cursed team. They're cursed.
I'm gonna call it the Kyrie Irving curse.
No.
He saved that whole place.
No. We gonna call that the IT curse.
Yeah.
So we can go to the next subject, but that IT curse is real.
You know what? That's interesting because how that whole thing ended up turning out.
Maxed him out, didn't pay him out. Yeah.
Right, they didn't. But if you look at the trade, and I don't want to go revisit too much history, it's the correct trade.
Yeah.
It's the correct move.
Right.
Now, what happened when Kyrie got to Boston? The book needs to be written. Because something went wrong in Boston.
And it
What went
wasn't the
wrong?
players. It wasn't the players.
Could it have been Brad Stevens?
Uh-oh.
I mean, the secret to basketball is that it's not about basketball. That team
Right.
played inspired hoops with Isaiah Thomas. They ain't
I
played
don't know.
inspired like that since.
It's
And you got to think,
mhm.
me and Big Shot worked at the same spot. We witnessed like 3 layoffs. We ain't trusted that place since. We still there, but we still side out that place like at any given moment. We could get that tap on the shoulder, or we could get that email with that severance package because we already went through it. So if I know that we could actually play perfect and I still could get the tap on my shoulder and just get sent to somewhere where my career ends, it's just tough to trust that. And it goes back to, from the top to the bottom, everybody needs to be on the same page. And Boston hasn't been that way since anything's possible. Ain't been that way since.
And you think about how close they came in 2018. They were just a couple of possessions away from getting to the finals. Legit.
They were close.
Real close.
They were very close. So that's a whole nother story. We might have to do like unwritten history one day in the off season, because that went completely the way it went left somehow.
94 feet of fouls.
94 feet of fouls. Now, flipping on out to the west side, I'm going to bring Trav right back in. We talk about the best of the rest and some of the other teams. For me, my coach of the year, as of today, is George Washington, Ben Franklin, the old dog, and that's Popovich. For me, it's coach of the year as of today.
Not George Washington.
I don't know how they are in the spot that they are in. I don't know how. You look at that roster. You look
his
at
hair like the Crypt Keeper. That's how.
You look at the Spurs roster, and you like how? How? But here we are again. Greg Popovich, Michelin 5-star restaurants and wine, and whatever else that he's doing. There they are again. Trav,
your head coach got
Spurs,
hair like the founding fathers.
Confederate Declaration of Independence hair. Hey, Trav, I'm gonna bring you in, man. Explain this to me, because I'm kind of at a loss. What is happening in San Antonio?
We just a better Detroit Pistons. We playing hard each and every night. You're gonna get the maximum effort out of all 5 players on that floor. Am I gonna like it watching it sometimes? Yep. Am I gonna dislike it watching it sometimes? Yep. But at the end of the day, if you got more points than this other team, you're getting the job done.
Yeah.
Porter, I still don't like as far as his athleticism, but him as a big, he's getting the job done in the middle. We actually been bringing LaMarcus Aldridge off the bench since the injury, and it's actually been working a little bit. But our guards, we running 4 guards. Well, two guards and 2 semi-guards. That's what I call them, because they forwards anywhere else, but they really guards. We just putting our best 5 out there, going out there and hoop. If you got to adapt to us, you better beat us at our own game. Other than that, we just out there hooping, giving the maximum effort. And Patty Mills still getting checks.
Ham,
still getting buckets too.
And putting up, yes.
As you like to call them,
shot making ass people, man. Get on my damn nerves, man. I always messing stuff up in the Southwest.
About the Spurs.
Hey, this is like complete evolution. Just from think of Popovich from 99 through like 07. Just his mannerism as a coach, the fire that he coached with. Think about everything else, and it's like where MJ was speaking about coaches' messages. tending to get old. I remember Larry Bird, after he stopped coaching in Indiana, said that he felt after 3 years, the message from a coach got old and you needed to make a change. You needed to move on and make a change, whatever it is. Well, Pop been around in San Antonio since I was in junior high school, not middle school, junior high school, like in the 8th grade or whatever. And he's still kicking. And I can imagine that the base of the message has not changed, but how he delivers the message, the guys that he's brought in, he's developed, he's groomed, and watched them grow, and the adjustments that they made over their time, and they still kicking. Salute to the ribeyes and all the Merlot and white wine that they passing around in that joint. They need to holler at me. Let me come kicking with them next time they come to the bluff, so I can talk bad about they shot making their ass. Sick of them folks, man, messing stuff up in the Southwest Division like this, man. It's real, man. Anyhow, yeah, I swear.
MJ, I want to go back to you because these are your notes.
Yeah.
Portland. Another team. Somehow, some way. Portland is, I think, as we are taping this, they are the 6th seed in the West. As we're taping this?
Yes. Yes.
Allah.
MJ, tell me. And MJ in the pre-show notes, give y'all a little behind the scenes, put Dame Dollar first ballot Hall of Fame, which I don't disagree with.
Okay.
But MJ, talk to us about what I guess Dame carried Portland through this season. And what's maybe his season getting kind of lost in some of the fireworks around the league.
Before I talk about him, I'm going to bring up Terry Stotts, and I didn't get a chance to talk about Tom Thibodeau. I'm even willing to throw in Brad Stevens out there as well. Certain coaches crack the code, and they understand what it takes to be able to make the playoffs. Win 75% of your home games, 50% of your road games. And they always give their team the best chance to do that. Now, it's up to the team to deliver. As far as Dame goes, he has been the only constant since he's gotten to that team. No matter who's injured, no matter who gets traded, no matter who they bring in, the man just goes about his fucking business. And everybody always talking about these new age kids, these new age. Well, if you're going to watch this game and you're an old school guy, Dame Lillard is a guy that you will take in easily because he cares about nothing but hooping. You ain't heard him complaining about a contract. I don't even think I seen him get a technical foul. This dude just goes about his business and he makes no excuses. If he got 4 able bodies out there, he like, we got a chance. And when you have a guy like that, with that type of moxie, with that type of, I almost want to call it positive delusion, because you got to be a little bit delusional to do the shit he doing. Like, for him to he probably really believed that they could make it to the finals. He believes that right now. And, us, hoop heads or whatever, we looking at it like, how? But he's still in the playoff hunt. I just knew there was every year I think they're a lottery team. Dame Dollar says, hold my beer. Every fucking time. Every time. At some point, I'm not going to go on a rant, but it must be addressed. At some point, we have to be able to start measuring every player based on their circumstance. Stop giving LeBron all of this leeway for losing, and y'all not giving Dame Dollar no leeway for losing, and he's not even bringing in half the players LeBron was able to bring in. So, yes, first ballot fucking Hall of Famer.
Dame is very much, his game isn't old school, but he's very much a 1980s, 1990s dude. This is the 5 out. This is the city I play in. These are the dudes on my team. Roll the ball out.
Check up.
Roll the ball out. That's it. we talked about on the 94 feet of playground show, the sign-up sheet. where you got to sign up for the next 5. Dame is not gonna cheat the sign up sheet.
Nah.
He ain't gonna
Dame,
skip. He ain't gonna put his name in front of the whiteboards.
He's not gonna do it.
He won't say it, but like I joke with cats all the time. Which one of y'all gonna walk in the gym and say, "Man, give me the 4 slowest motherfuckers in there"? Dame won't say it, but he just gonna go sign the sheet. You know what I'm saying? He just gonna go take it wherever he lands on the sheet. That's where they 5 gonna run, and it's on.
And they go on a 3-game winning streak. No matter
and they say you probably gonna have to get him off after about 3 or 4 because he finna snatch off.
Yeah. Now, Jerm, I'm gonna bring you into the conversation. We talk about old dogs still doing the same tricks. And the old dogs is Chris Paul in Phoenix and Steph Curry in Golden State. We talked about Steph Curry last week, so let's talk about the old dog Chris Paul, who, again, in a similar vein to Dame, although Chris has changed teams, obviously. That old dog gets on a new team, new guys, new coach. We ain't supposed to be that good. Yet here we are. Phoenix is 4th, I believe, as we are taping the show. They on pace to win about 53 to 55 games with a team that was terrible last year. Jerm, talk to me about the old dog.
It's really simple. It's maybe 5 players in the NBA right now that can talk to anybody like this. Get your big ass on the block and work out. Chris Paul is one of them 5 people.
He's number 1.
He's one of them 5 people.
He wake up wanting to say that shit.
I mean, that's what it is. That's just what it is. We may not like the delivery, but the results is what we get out of it. He will spark results. He's going to bring it defensively. He's going to take on the challenge of taking on the lead guard of the other team. He won't back down from switches. He's going to bring a certain type of persona to your locker room. The issue with Chris Paul is Chris Paul is normally the toughest guy on his team.
Yep.
It's 6 feet.
It's 6 feet.
Now, here's what makes Phoenix interesting. I know y'all got a problem with light-skinned dudes, but Devin Booker is as tough as they come. And everything that Chris Paul wanted James Harden to be at Houston, Devin Booker is. And there ain't no slight against James Harden. James Harden was an established superstar who knew this was my team. You're coming in to help me. Devin Booker has that same type of talent level, but he is humbly welcoming him, saying, how do I get to this playoffs? How do I take my game to the next level? With the same skill set, with the same dog. And everything that Houston team was that made it to the Western Conference Finals is everything this Phoenix team is right now. You got your rim running big who can block shots. Even a little talented can even hit a jumper. You got your shooting guard who can play point guard for you. You got interchangeable guys who could play that wing and can guard multiple positions. You got bigs that can shoot it. It's the same shit.
And Germ, let's talk about your favorite player. And this guy's gonna make me change my MVP rule. Because y'all know me, who have known me for a while. No, if you ain't top 4 in the conference, you ain't getting no MVP vote from Big Shot. However, up there in the Bay Area, another old dog. He's an old dog. He's 33 this month, who has found a way to have a team that has no business being in the playoffs now. No business. And that's Golden State. Germ, I know he's your favorite guy, so I'm going to let you lead the conversation. But to me, watching him now is as enjoyable as 2016.
I agree.
When he was the MVP.
Steph is one of them dudes that anytime he's on TV, I watch. If I can find Steph, I'm watching him. Why? It's just watching a cat that plays and adapts to his personnel each and every year, every game. Because remember, Draymond has not played all these games. And then you still got the fact that Draymond may get kicked out the damn game because he run his mouth too damn much. Steph adjusts to all his personnel better than everybody in the league, man. I swear. And then what makes it so phenomenal is he never seems to be rattled by all the other noise in the league. Like, this team is realistically, as I said before, maybe another guard to help him in that second unit out from being one of the teams that I'm gonna say is my dark horse. I'm ready. I'm ready to jump on the Golden State wagon. I'm ready. Listen, I got my shoes, I got my luggage packed, I got the whole thing. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna pack a lunch too, just in case I get hungry on the way. This Golden State team, I like them. I like it.
Quit being scared and go and sign your free agent papers.
I mean, the pen is right here.
Go and sign it.
You ain't
Sign it, Claude.
You know what it is though, true.
Yeah.
It's not that he wasn't having fun before, but you visibly see he's having fun.
And it's go ahead, MJ.
This is what he is doing this season. This is one of these, I call it the FU season. Every superstar has a FU season. It's where you could see that they got tired of the critics. You can see they got tired of the hate. They got tired of it. And these dudes are already competitive at the highest level of competitiveness anyway. And y'all giving them fuel, that's where they reach ultimate FU moment. Great superstar with added fuel. And they went into this league and everybody forgot about Steph because of his hand injury last year. Everybody was expecting Steph to suffer because they wanted to prove, see, he ain't nothing without KD. See, he ain't nothing without that. They couldn't wait. Y'all done gave this dude 3 dudes that can't shoot in the starting lineup. And they 18 and 12. It's 3 dudes that they starting lineup that can't shoot.
And one of them, every time he shoot, I say, back.
It's crazy because I'm like Ham. I don't stay up for them too. I don't stay up for Western Conference games until the playoffs. So you wake up every morning, you check whatever, and it's like, oh, Steph was 6 for 12 from the 3-point line last night.
And this man was 8 of 11 in one of them games. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Steph was 13 and 17 from the floor, was 10 and 12 from the 3-point line last night.
Right. He had 41.
How many people
in 32 minutes, he got 41.
41.
Before this season, how many of y'all knew who Tusano was?
I know
that power forward.
I knew who he was, but that's different. I don't count. I'm signing, man. You know what? That's my second team in the West. I'm signing.
There you go. Just go on sign.
I'm signing, man.
Sign him up.
I'm sorry. I can't go. Hey, look, hey man, give me Golden State as my second team in the West, baby. Let's go. I can't keep sitting. You know the vibes.
Hey,
you know the vibes. I gotta go with my guy.
Print up top, sign on the bottom.
Yeah, no, I'm signing both copies. What you mean? In permanent ink. I'm riding with 30 until he ride out.
That's how I am with the truth.
I can't stop riding with the guy, man.
It's something else. It is
FU season. This is his FU season.
And
this is the Kobe 81-point game season. This is the LeBron. We just lost against Dallas in the final season. Every superstar. This is Jordan's 1996. I lost to Orlando because Nick Anderson ripped me season.
Yes.
Everybody got that FU season. It's just like, you know what? I'm just
these
saying.
folks got Andrew Wiggins playing defense.
MJ, you know what it is? It does remind me of Kobe. Obviously, completely different player. But this does remind me of Kobe the 2 years after Shaq left.
Yeah.
35, 5 and 5, and 31, 6 and 5. What
you know what I'm saying? And this right now is 35 and 6 on 47, 41, and 94.
But it's like it's
Lord have mercy.
like them Lakers teams. Like okay, Lamar Odom, and then
Smush Parker,
and then
Chris
what?
Mim, Kwame Brown,
Sasha Mavendeko, Vladimir Redmanovich,
So
Vujacic.
I'm rooting for it.
Jordan Farmar.
Right. And Steph got these dudes at 18 and 12.
And just like I said all about the things I said about Dame, I can say the same thing about Steph. I've never heard Steph say I want to demand a trade. I never heard Steph say I am frustrated with the front office. I've never heard Steph say anything about his teammate negative and ever, no matter what's going on in that locker room, you have never seen him say a word bad about his teammates. And I'm pretty sure it was tough to deal with Kevin Durant at times because Kevin Durant was going through his own personal thing when he got to the Warriors and everybody was calling him a cupcake. He had to deal with that. And he ain't never said one harsh word. He ain't never said one harsh word about Draymond Green, even though Draymond Green probably costed him a 4P. He didn't say a word.
Man, MJ. Draymond Green didn't cost him some games. He didn't cost him some championships. He didn't cost him a couple of things.
Cost him one.
You know how I feel about that, but that's a different story.
Yeah,
but he's never. He could have said he could have behaved in a different way,
and nobody would have said anything. It would have been
wouldn't have, couldn't have, because he earned the right to say what he want to say.
Well, that and then where would have been the lie?
You know what I'm gonna call Steph Curry? Steph Curry is the Google of the NBA. Google has completely changed the dynamic of what a workplace looks like. To the point where the work environment, everyone wants to work at it. This is why we hear stories about JaVale McGee, who was a constant shacking a fool. Now he is a big dude that is mentoring other big dudes because he has 3 rings. This is the reason why Andrew Wiggins, who we thought had the same amount of care level as Jay Cutler, is now in a defensive stance.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the best two-way players
in the league.
that you don't know about.
We can actually document him as an elite defender around these parts.
So it's like, at some point, when you are able to create an environment that is comfortable for any personality, you know, the coach gets love for that too, the GMs, everybody gets love for that. But it starts with 30. Because I know I got a superstar that's not going to side on me when I shoot or don't shoot. He don't care either way. If you don't shoot, okay, I'll just shoot it. It's cool. Let's get back on defense. He don't care. When has he ever showed up anybody verbally on this team? When?
You ain't seen it.
Ever.
He's not that he wasn't.
Google.
He's been special for a long time. And this season, it's likely not going to end up in a championship. They may not even go playoffs here. But the fact that if they make the playoffs,
they will.
This is the masterpiece season for me. Because this team has no business being there. None.
Hey, they're gonna make the playoffs. Watch this, big shot. They're gonna make the playoffs and they're gonna beat Portland.
The reason why I made Jern push the pen is because you may get by this season, but wait till next season when number 11 get back.
And number 11 is just the byproduct of what 30 represents. Because number 11 the same way. He ain't tripping at all. He's chilling. Shoot it. Don't shoot it. Don't care.
Exactly. So that was kind of a look around the rest of the league. We're gonna next Monday. We're not going nowhere. We're about to talk some more right now. Next Monday, though, we will preview the second half of the NBA season. And talk about what to expect going on the second half. We will have blind GM the trade, which I am completely afraid of. I ain't gonna lie. That's coming in a few Fridays from now. Mm-hmm. Blind GM the trade, masterminded by MJ's. So make sure you tuned in. Fellas, to kind of wrap the show off, we're going a little bit longer because we don't talk as much like we used to. So we're gonna go a little longer tonight. The All-Star break is here. So, fellas, open forum like we do. Favorite All-Star moments. Be it a game, dunk contest, 3-point contest, something that happened at the All-Star game. That you just it could be recent, back in the day. Just throw something out, fellas. Open forum. I'm not gonna call nobody. Just go.
I
just like the go ahead.
Go ahead, True.
I just like the evolution of what we have seen collectively over the years. I mean, I was watching some actual clips earlier, which is funny. And just to see every year is different cats in the game providing different things. Steph has his moments. Of course, LeBron has millions of moments, it feels like, in the All-Star game. But I just really love the evolution of the game and how we now, a highlight play in this highlight is not just a dunk or alley-oop. Now we got half-court threes as a part of it because Steph and these folks is in the game. You know, the dunk contest, now it is more creative because now it's not just about how high you can jump. Now you got to come with some antics and some props, and you got to make this memorable. And with the way that we got shooters in this league now, the 3-point contest seemed like an open forum every year. We don't know who the hell gonna win.
Right.
Take that all money ball rack away though. Jam, go ahead.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that part. That part is I'm not gonna complain too much or say nothing about that.
Just shoot
but
the
I
ball,
don't
shoot
care
the
about
rock
that.
and shoot it.
I'm gonna go back to we'll go back to '92 when Magic was voted in that same year that he had to retire, and just from what we didn't know, you know, about just HIV virus and things of that nature then, to what we know now, and the performance that he put on. So he didn't miss a beat, though. He was he was Magic, at his finest hour. And to end it off with Zeke right in his face, and he got his back turned to him, just turned and fired from deep. Shot, then hit him with the fist pump on the way out. Classic. I still got that one on VHS. I just can't find no VCR to play that motherfucker on. That's all.
Hey man, from Mike kissing the rim where they gangster lean, that's what I call it. I mean, these folks got watches with that. I'm talking about when he leaned onto that thing to when Kenny Smith holler out, "Let's go home. Let's go home." That whole performance by Vince, it still give you chills. Still give you chills. Oh my God. I mean, Vince put on a show like no other. No other, man. That's it, man.
I want to throw another one out there real quick too. For you young cats, go pull up on YouTube 1987 and watch this white dude that's about 6'10" named Tom Chambers go to work on some of your favorites, my favorites, everybody on this panel's favorites in his hometown of Seattle, Washington. And that All-Star game was probably one of the closest ones of this was like a playoff game.
They were 87 in Seattle. They were playing.
Right. 87 was real. It wasn't no show like that in 87.
That's Rolando, right?
Yeah,
Rolando Blackman on the free
Rolando Blackman.
And to spin it forward last year. That was
a lot like 87.
That was a great game.
Yes,
I thought, was it the spirit of Kobe, whatever you want to say? That was a fun game last year. The
only thing I didn't like was that they ended it on the free throw.
If I had to say take off one little point, Ham, you're right. I didn't like that.
The Elam ending.
The Elam, that's what I'm saying, but the Elam rule.
The Elam ending, they played it like it was for real. Kyle Lowry was out there taking charges.
Hey, man.
James Harden was playing Embiid and Giannis. in the
say-
same frame, same OT frame. He got stops on both of them. I want to say he got multiple on one of them.
I'm gonna say one of my favorites that get lost in the shuffle at times, but they play hard on that one too. Is 2001 East versus West
in DC. Yep.
In DC, that was live.
Yeah, and Kobe went back and forth, but AI was pretty much the one that was going at everybody's head. That was the MVP season. He got All-Star MVP, I think, that year too. Vince Carter acted a plum fool. Like, I used to always favor the Eastern Conference when I had allegiances. I used to always just love seeing the Eastern Conference. To me, even to this day, you still see the same fabric. Eastern Conference is more like, effort. It's more heart. It's more like rougher. Western Conference is more execution. It's more skill. It's more grace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you could always see it. I've been seeing it since I've been watching the game. And it's nothing really changed. Kind of the reason why I like the East now, even though everybody look at their record like, oh, the East suck again. No, they just beating each other's asses. It's a difference.
You know what I remember about that game in 2001 DC? You talk about Vince Carter. I've never seen anybody do a 360 from the baseline.
Yeah, the other way too. And it was
reverse 360. He cuffed that thing like he was Kenny Scott. Remember how Kenny Skywalker did his 360 and he cuffed it like a discus?
And that camera angle that they had on Kenny Skywalker when they set it off.
Oh my God.
Vince went to the baseline. I mean, yes, All-Star game, ain't nobody playing great defense. I'm like, you went to the baseline.
I went crazy when I saw that.
And turned the wrong way. And
I went crazy.
That was that's one of the coldest in-game All-Star dunks ever. That was wild. Like, where are you going?
If y'all want to see Kenny Skywalker dunk, only thing you gotta do is go on YouTube and look up the Inside Stuff intro. They have it right there.
Yeah.
Or just pull up the 89 slam
Just
dunk.
pull up the 89 slam dunk.
Yeah. Kenny
It went down.
Also, too, with me, like in the All-Star game, I like seeing the guys who are the unsung heroes to make the game fun. Because everybody is trying to get their money. Everybody trying to get that MVP. I love seeing the guys that's setting people up. Jason Kidd used to have the All-Star game looking something serious. I remember this man went full speed from half court and just so unassumingly and effortless through underhand, left-hand oop to Kmart.
Yeah.
Going full speed.
And he caught it.
If people don't understand how difficult that is to throw an offhand oop underhanded while dribbling full speed from half court. And Kenyon didn't have to do anything. It was there. It was right there for him. It was easy for him. It wasn't like he had to reach. Man, I was like, Jesus, this dude is like different.
Or the other one, another old school one, when Isaiah threw like a 65-foot bounce pass.
Yeah.
We'll
put it in the group because
we'll put it in the group.
Yeah,
because that's one of the most insane passes I've ever seen. To throw a free throw line bounce pass, one bounce,
hit him in the numbers. Dude had to reach a nothing.
And speaking of Zeke, him icing out and freezing Paul Pierce in the 03 game, and Paul Pierce got in in the waning seconds of it, and he jacked up one of the craziest joints I'd ever seen. Because you can see he was just like, he was hot. He was white hot about it. Because it's like, that was already a crazy weekend anyway, because they put Vince on the spot.
Yeah.
It's like, why y'all gonna put this man on the spot to give up his spot?
His starting spot for Mike. Yeah. That was
right.
That was
it's like, if y'all wanted Mike to get in as a starter, why the fuck y'all didn't vote Mike in as a starter then? I've always had a bone, not that I had a bone of contention with him starting, but the way they went about it, I thought was real whack. He said the bench. I didn't think that was cool at all. Mike deserved it, but it's like, I said he would have gave up his. Max said he would have gave up his, but why y'all gonna centralize and put the focus on Vince?
Yeah. Hey,
but
also
that's the kind of stuff we get.
George Karl is trash. I'm putting him in the Zach Morris category.
George Karl is trash.
George Karl is trash. Because in '98, he robbed us of that Kobe and Jordan showdown.
Hey,
Kobe was
George
trash.
Karl called the dog off of Mike. Cause that young boy, he was
like, we here.
Hey, 19-year-old Kobe with the afro.
He did the wraparound like Baron Davis always do it all time. Then he hit a three, and then he took him out. We ain't seen him for the rest of the game.
Right. Because Froby wasn't going by the script. That was supposed to be Mike's last All-Star game.
That
was Jordan told. What's that Jordan say? Oh, that young fella gonna make you go one-on-one.
Right. And that was his last MVP too.
Yeah.
From the All-Star game.
Yeah, Froby was playing by a different script than everybody else.
Like Kobe said when they were telling them don't do this, don't that, because Mike gonna do this. Kobe like, yo, I'm that too. I'm one of those. You know what I'm saying?
Don't look at mine.
I'm saying I'm not fair in that.
And they always had that bond because it was like dogs talking to dogs. It's like when dogs bark at each other or when they be playing with their mouth open, biting each other. That's what dogs do. So it's like everybody else like, oh, that looks hostile. I don't want no smoke. They like, nah, this is what we do. So
spoke the same language without speaking.
When I tell you the funniest part of this is I've watched some interviews where Kobe and Mike was talking, and Kobe was like, Mike one day was telling me that somebody never did something to him. And I said, hey, Mike, you remember that time I put 42 on you in one half?
Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
everybody trying to make an excuse for it. It's like, well, Mike wasn't Mike. Well, he should have been out there that night.
No. Mike didn't guard him because Mike was smart. The few times he did guard him, Kobe gave him that work.
Yeah. And that's what and
who the fuck was guarding him on that game? Now I gotta look it up.
But you talk about All-Star game in 01 DC. That's kind of like I knew Kobe was that, right? But that All-Star game in DC was like, okay. He really is like the best player in the league. All them stars in that game, they went to Kobe every time in the fourth quarter down the stretch.
Except for once.
They gave it to him every time. And he hitting fall aways. He fall into the camera.
Hey man, Bean just special, man.
Afro Bean was my favorite version.
Special.
It's the great man. Hey, Big Shot. We was talking about this. Yes. Yep. Keep going.
Old ops. He had all that IQ.
He ended Vincent Yarbrough's career.
You said what?
He ended Vincent Yarbrough's career before it started.
What?
Man went behind his back, then did a 360. Why?
No.
Why? Why the 360?
I remember
you already lost when you went behind the back. Why?
I remember a hesitation crossover and a dunk from the free throw line in the preseason game.
The preseason
game.
game.
My God!
Against Big Ben.
Lord have mercy.
It's appropriate that he is like the All-Star MVP is named after him.
Absolutely.
Only right.
Because he took it seriously every time.
He took that
every time.
Hey,
you know what I'm gonna miss? I'm gonna miss Russell Westbrook not making it because Russell Westbrook played like his life on the line, and he'll be smiling still trying to be 50. Like he still don't pass the ball. I missed that. I'm sorry.
Hey, he ran the All-Star game for real, like he was running 21. You know.
Hey, there's certain players that make it that you can just tell like they have no other agenda than to get this trophy. They ain't thinking about nothing else. Like Glenn Rice in '97. And 98 for that matter. Like it's just certain players. It's like, man, look, you know why I'm here.
Glenn was shooting them on.
I'm getting 20 shots up.
Hey, I remember that. But you're right. I think it was at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, he had like 50.
Yeah.
Him and Kyrie be doing that shit too. Kyrie, trust Kyrie is gonna get up his 23 shots this game. Yeah. He's gonna find 23 shots. He's gonna get it up.
Yeah,
trust
man.
You heard it first. You put that bet up right now.
Hey, you want to know something funny? Y'all remember, this is the ironic part about Kyrie, right? Kyrie wins All-Star Game MVP and LeBron go back to Cleveland the next year.
Right.
No, ain't no ironic. We know what that is. They ain't Illuminati.
Man, look. No, I'm just showing people how some of this stuff you can't script some of this.
He like, I can win with young fella. Young fella ready for the stage. That's like, and they got a number 1 pick, so we got leverage to trade to get the other piece that I need. I'm about to make Miami Junior in Cleveland.
LeBron know what he doing.
Yeah, I mean he should go ahead and just start his own league and be a GM, like for real, like. He should. Why y'all laughing?
Hey, that man, Tristan Thompson's in his trash.
No, not Tristan, just George Thompson.
Hey man, we got to do the Tristan Thompson though. Man, look, when Tristan Thompson got paid, everybody in Cleveland was mad. They was mad as hell. Like, you paying him $80 million to get rebounds?
Hey, Tristan
LeBron
Thompson
got everybody paid.
Tristan,
That's what I was happy for.
You know what's funny about Tristan Thompson?
Only hold out.
You know what he did?
Basketball.
You know what he did? And this has to stop too at some point. Now, I know we off script, but I gotta say this gotta stop. I know y'all in the NBA, but all of y'all don't deserve a mixtape for the summer. All y'all don't deserve it. I'm sorry. There I said it. Like when Tristan Thompson came out with that mixtape of him shooting threes and making it, it's like, yeah, we know you a pro, you can make it. You ain't shoot that shit in the game. We know you're not shooting that shit in the game.
We knew the vibes.
I'm tired of hearing the rhetoric about him switching from left hand to right hand. He had to because he couldn't shoot.
Hey, MJ.
Yeah, at this point, he might as well underhand that.
Listen.
Punt that motherfucker. Like, he can't shoot.
Rest in peace to Fred McLeod. But he used to be talking about that. Austin Carr. Yeah, TT, he going to be better this year. He's shooting with his right hand now. I said, man, if you don't get this shit out of here with this nonsense, man.
Held out. He held out.
Man,
dude. Like he was Ezekiel Ellison.
Man, that man, listen.
And they paid him.
Hey, the Cavs was in a luxury tax.
That man held out like he was Walter Jones on the Seahawks.
Now, this is what it was. This is what it was. You know how, like, you take your girl for granted and she leave you. And then she come back and you just in that I got to do whatever it takes to let her know I'm serious this time. Oh, that's what Dan Gilbert was with LeBron. Who you want me to pay? Oh, you want him to pay? Oh, sure. Tristan Thompson, $80 million? Sign it. Fine. What, you want me to bring El Gaskins back? Hey, he could get $5 million too. Like, he didn't care at that point. He just like, whatever it's going to take to get this.
Everybody got paid.
Listen, the Cavs was so far over the luxury tax. I want y'all to know this. The Cavs was so far over the luxury tax. They still over the luxury tax now. And they won't be clear or start to get some clearance until this season coming up.
They still paying J.R. Smith?
No, that was last year.
Okay.
And them folks still playing Dellavedova, and that man went to Milwaukee with his.
Dellavedova.
He's still on the Cavs. Delly is trash.
Since we pay, you might as well play.
He's on the Cavs for real?
Yes.
He's like the fifth guard.
Wow. He's on the team again. They talk about Cleveland, one of Cleveland's favorites coming back. Matthew Dellavedova. Man, if you don't get this out of here, man. Then they call that man. They call that man the Steph Curry stopper. And then, man, listen. I said, listen, you need to stop this. Any man drinking coffee before a game, he was already toast. But you put a coffee drinker in caffeine free, Coca-Cola Classic, caffeine free.
We always talk about limos being sent to a player. Curry sent the luxury Uber with all green M&Ms in the basket.
Hey,
I remember that. That was a funny. we completely off script. So thank y'all for hanging in with us. I remember that was one of the funnier 94 feet of life Facebook moments.
That Del Sky.
Ham remember this. Trav remember this. MJ remember this because the original members. Jerm, if you want to use your search skills, you can find the conversation. These folks were really in this group talking about how Steph was locked up by Dellavedova. I said, look here. And you remember, I think it
game
was
4 when they was losing, or game 3 they was losing. He caught fire that
beating the Warriors by about 20 in the fourth quarter. Oh man, Dellavedova got Curry number. Steph got 2 layups and a jumper to go. I said, y'all are in trouble come game 5.
And Dellavedova ended up in the hospital that night, needed an IV,
Man,
and it was
Curry
a
came
wrap.
back and Curry came back in game 5 and smoked that man's boots.
37.
He
Smoked his
gave him
boots.
gave him that death scowl on the
That gave
sideline.
the scowl. That gave the scowl, and that was it.
Wasn't that shimmy, Steph?
No, that
that
was
was
the frown step after he gave him the in out crosser there to step back and hit the three and just kind of frowned at the crowd.
he looked at
That
that
was-
sideline so nasty and
Hey.
mean,
He gave him the number 8, extra sauce.
Man, look.
And he had the scowl on his face like he was listening to a hypnotized Minds Posse album or something. You know, 3-6.
Delagoga, the Curry stop. Man, y'all better go on somewhere.
Yes.
Hey,
Curry
Curry was playing 21 with 19 the whole game. You know how you got like 5 people guarding when you got 19 and 21? That's what he was doing the whole game. But he
that
kept
was
hitting
15. Was that 15? That was 15.
That was one of the early. That was our first
It
finals
was,
in
hey,
19.
Yes.
And here's the funny thing. Like, let's just call y'all out on this. The reason why y'all wanted to fail, not because y'all care about Curry in any way, y'all wanted it to fail because you just couldn't accept the fact that basketball has evolved. Just accept it. It's okay.
They had 35% of it that he was light skinned.
That too.
And then the other 60% out of the other 5% that we just gonna call it is y'all just want to see LeBron win everything and every year because y'all want LeBron to be better than everybody. So y'all wasn't gonna say it. I ain't scared.
All 3 of those is all of the above.
It's all in the same pot.
Hey, we might have
Was it A?
when we get to the off season, I don't know if it's still out there. We did a whole podcast on that topic.
Yeah.
Oh, Golden State University.
Yeah.
Golden State University.
We need to pull that back up.
If it's still in the archive somewhere, we just redo this, whatever. We did a whole hour on that.
Golden State University.
What MJ just said. It was an hour. It was one of the early days. Early 94 feet, me, MJ, taping the show from the lunchroom in the break room. Before we knew you could do stuff the legit way,
Right.
But yeah.
I ain't mad at y'all. I'm gonna tell you all that now. But
if somebody can find that, I would pay for that. And I'm the one that helped do it. So
hilarious.
But look, we went a little off script. So we'll put some timestamps on the show so y'all know which parts where to find it. Again, we got a busy March. Very busy. We got guests coming through for the NCAA tournament. And we got a chance for you to join us. March Madness, come watch the game with us. We'll talk about how that's going to happen. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube, notifications on, 94 Feet of Life, the Facebook group, the Instagram, the Twitch, the Facebook fan page, man. We went a little off script, so thank y'all for hanging in with us. It's Ron, it's Ham, it's Trav, it's Germ, it's MJ. Friday Fun, Black Pat Stay Jack, Trav, 94 Feet of Wheel of Fortune. It's going down. Basketball for the people, by the people. We out.